Hanover Shoe Farms. The name says it all. Year after year, Hanover Shoe Farms has been the industry leader among standardbred nurseries the world over. This fall, we'll be selling what we think to be our best ever consignment at the New Jersey Classic on September 12th, and of course at Harrisburg, November 8th through the 11th. Visit our website at www.hanoverpa.com in the coming weeks for full pedigrees and videos. Hanover Shoe Farms, the greatest name in harness racing.
Harness Central today comes to you from Victory Lane Training Center. We're with Isaac Waxman, a man who's probably got more New Zealand horses than anybody else in the country at the moment. Isaac, you've got 6 of 8 of your horses being New Zealand bred. How did that happen?
First, it started with 2 claimers. The first one was Linatawa. She was a Holmes Hanover mare. We did really good with her. And we went on and bought one from the States, actually off Carl Cito, that was racing in claimers. His name was Scappa. We did amazing with both of them. And one night, after a family function, I was at my dad's house, myself, my dad, and my brother. And Aaron said to me, if you like the New Zealand breds, he said, I'll get you a hold of a guy that can get you the good ones. So that was John Curtin, and we started with Awesome Armbro, and he's done unbelievable for us. And
so let's just talk about him now.
Okay.
It was interesting. There's always this debate bringing New Zealand horses over, whether or not they need time for a transition or whether you just hit the ground running. What's your thoughts based on your experience so far?
That's all going to depend on the horse, obviously. Awesome Armbro, the trip didn't seem to stress him. He was healthy. He never spiked a temperature. And so we basically went right away and we qualified him, and he qualified huge. He won his qualifier by 8 lengths in 53 and 4. And we went right on to race him. And like I was explaining earlier, he went right up in the air like he wanted to race. And Luke said, this horse has to come last to the gate.
That's Luke Alette.
Right, yeah. Luke Alette, yeah. So we made sure from then on we were a little cautious with him at the gate. And he was racing every week. We never gave him a break since he got up here. So he raced good 2 starts ago, but he was blowing his guts out and he wanted to beat them and he just couldn't. So we gave him a whole week off and then jogged him back for a few days. And he raced the best he has yet. And he won in 150 and 1. The other day at Mohawk, and he raced huge. That was his best start yet.
And your fair analysis of him is that he's a solid preferred horse?
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely open horse. I think maybe he can't go with some of the top 2 or 3, but I think he's as good as any the other ones if he's on top of his game. And he's like the way he was the other night, I think he could have done with the open horses for sure. The only thing that's going to be against him is his age. He's almost 9 years old, but like I said, New Zealand, they don't start racing them until they're 3 years old. They're more developed and everything, so that doesn't seem to affect him as much.
Right.
Like the other 2 I had, the one who was racing unbelievably, won 3 of 4 starts in a row at Mohawk, was Scappa, and he's almost 11. So, I mean, that tells you right there.
Right. Now, you recently brought up a mare called Meredith McGuire, and in the last Southern Hemisphere racing season, which just concluded, she was probably maybe 3rd best after a filly called DeLovely down there. And she looks like she's a player. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, for sure. DeLovely.
No, this Meredith.
Oh, yeah. I've never had a horse like her. I would think that she could beat Awesome Armbro. I think she's a super freak. I mean, she's 6 months younger than any other 4-year-old mare over here because she was born in November, the way they're bred in New Zealand. And we knew when we started training her. We had to bring her back. She was off 5 weeks and we got her, so it took us almost the same to bring her back. And when we were training her back, we were trying to go certain times with her, and she just wanted to go more and more. We trained her with another horse, and we had a tough time making her just finish with them, even though she wasn't quite ready. She just wants to race, and some horses, a certain part of the mile, they obviously get tired, and that seems like she doesn't. She just wants to keep going, and there's no end to her. We don't know. I don't know how good she is. I think she's the best mare in North America right now. I hope I'm right. So. And
maybe one of the better Christian Cullen older mares to come along.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I know Christian Cullen was the best sire in New Zealand. His stud fee, I think, was $25,000. So that money talks there for sure.
Right. Now, this is interesting for you. You're sitting here with a stable of 8. You've been training on your own for 4 years, am I right?
4 years, yeah.
How do you feel about your progress to this point?
Oh, very happy. I was struggling a bit when I was having, the cheap claimers, because you can never come out on them. They're too expensive to maintain and everything. And I've tried to move on to better quality horses, and it's really worked out. So that's.
Okay. Well, good luck with the Kiwi breds, and good days ahead.
Thank you very much, Harold.
This is Harold Howe with Isaac Waxman at Little New Zealand, giving you the harness racing edge.